The Kansas City Chiefs went down to Brazil, got their butts whooped, and it's over. They're just going to forfeit the rest of the season. It's perfectly fine. We don't need Chiefs football. You don't need Chiefs football. It just all sucks. No, this is RGR football. We're going to tell you the truth. It's not over. The sun's coming up in a few hours. It's going to be all right. This wasn't a pretty game, but we're going to walk you through it. And we're going to tell you what we saw live before we get to all the breakdowns when we do it next week. Welcome in RGR Football, our first live postseason game of the season. This is my man, Dan Harms, running the show. I'm here for comic effects and whatever else I can think of. I'm Ryan Tracy. Thank you for joining us. If you're part of Rogue Nation already, welcome back. If you want to be part of Rogue Nation, join the memberships, become part of us, get subscribed, do all the stuff. We're going to run it down for you. We have notes, we have thoughts, we have takeaways. I want to start with your big headline. What do you got, my man?
Remember when we talked about how the pass rush was a problem? Remember, guys? Remember that? Everyone said, no, it's fine. They have effort players. They can do that. No. And this is, again, this is not, it's all over. This is a looking at what they've done and talking about it. And I was called arrogant multiple times
tonight
by people because I don't like the way that Spags goes about building the defensive end room. I don't like it. And this is what we get. We have, if Chris Jones is being double teamed, triple teamed, and not getting pressure right away, this is what it looks like. George Karlaftis played pretty poorly today. He was very bad for most of this football game. Mike Dana is nothing. Charles Menahue, oh, by the way, yeah, we told you he was toast. He's toast. They don't have anybody. So it's a frustrating thing to watch play out when you know it's going to happen. When you sit back like they can't rush the passer, and the Chargers are down their best offensive lineman. They have one guy who's fighting food poisoning right in and out of the game, and it doesn't matter. And so some of these things, Spags' game plan different because they expected the run like we all did, Right. So yes, the big thing for me is the defense side of the football. It did not look good on most things. The pass rush, the biggest culprit, because if you can't rush with 4, you're pretty much out of luck, and you're putting your worst players, Chamari Connor, on a spotlight and just on a reel. It's just a reel. That's what it was. It was the Chargers doing the hits all night long, guys.
Yeah, it was ugly. MHK, thank you, Angler. And thank you, Lee. Appreciate you. Yes, we will tell you something good. And this is it. And Angler pulled it for me. I was going to go to this, but Angler already called it. The second best pass rusher tonight after Chris Jones was my guy, Gelati. He was there. He only played like 9 rush snaps.
Because he had one.
I ain't done.
One pressure.
I ain't done. He was pushing the pocket. He played the run fine. He did get banged up. I think it was a left shoulder on special teams. So he didn't play a whole lot down the stretch. But honestly, that drive in the second half came out. I thought like maybe the defensive turnaround. I would have liked to seen him get more run there. But I thought George had a couple of nice plays. He did get off the ball really, really well a couple of times. But you're right. Everything was just kind of, we're going to play the Chargers again. We got Pat. And kudos to Patrick Mahomes. Like. Yeah, right? Like, Patrick Mahomes, I get that. I would probably be too reliant on him too if it were me. I mean, honestly, I was too reliant because I just changed the thumbnail to something that sucks about 5 minutes before we went live, folks. I still had a winning thumbnail up there. So thank you for your patience. I trusted Patrick Mahomes too much even. I thought Mahomes played as good as he could have been expected. It's a touch off the first couple of drives. I would put that as much on the pass catchers as the passer. But I felt like he got himself turned around. I love the fact that he got hit hard once and not only could give I'm not going to say that yet. We're live. There might be kids on still. He did not bother him.
Go for it. It is midnight Easter time, my friend. We are good.
See, the rest of us are not on Easter time though, Daniel. But no, he gave 0 shits about getting hit. He gets up. He's fine. The big thing was coming back. And if you're going to play patty cack with me, I am going to run you over and decleat you, Mr. Gilman. I thought that was the turning point for him saying, screw it. If you're not going to put out, I'm going to make you come along for it.
It's funny because Andy Reid started his post-game press conference about how he's got to do a better job of getting them ready to go and playing with more energy. Remember in the game plan when I talked about how the Seahawks plays you in the preseason, having that energy? That didn't happen. That didn't happen. We keep talking about the same things over and over again, and eventually it's probably going to be fine. Like eventually it probably will be. And I understand like the want to be mad about this game, and it was hard to watch at times. Like obviously, when you don't get off the bus realizing that there's a football game that is being played today, it makes it hard to watch. But Patrick Mahomes was doing everything he could to get his team engaged. I also loved that it only took him a half of football to get the deep ball dialed down. Remember how it took like multiple years, multiple games to do it a couple of years ago?
Like multiple years.
Yeah, we got it dialed in a half of football. So, and plus, I'm probably going to take a lot less heat on the offense today because you lose another player. You have to adjust the entire game plan to according to it. The only thing they're going to hear from me is not running the football, regardless of the outcome.
Wait, you're going to say it so I don't have to?
When you get into the red zone, guys, and you're on the 10-yard line and you throw 3 straight passes, hey, guess what? That's not a good idea. It's not a good idea. Yeah. So that all being said, the energy that I think Patrick tried to get into this football game, he was doing his best. He was doing his job. A lot of other people were not. Juwan Taylor, by the way, what did I tell you? It's a problem. It's not the injury, guys. It's not. He just can't stop making penalties.
Yeah, you were absolutely right. It is a mental thing. Now, I don't think that Simmons and Sumatia played great. Kingsley got backed up too much. He lost a couple of pass rushes early, but I don't think he got Patrick crushed. I don't think he was the problem tonight. I thought Simmons got a little out of sorts in the second half. And I don't know, maybe this is all about having to travel so far and having a 3-hour bus ride to the game. I don't know. But everybody seemed like the defense was terrible early, peaked for a minute in the second or the early second half, and then kind of fell off again. Felt like the offense just like petered out after that big touchdown to Kelsey.
It's tough to understand what happens in that situation. And even after that, why does Kelsey stop running? He's the guy who runs into space in the end zone. Like why did he stop? Especially when so if you're here, Travis, and you see inside leverage of Derwin James and you're running across his face and he's not moving with you, why are you stopping? Why are you stopping? Don't. That one, I watched it happen. I'm just like, that I would have continued to run. Like I'm slow and I would have been able to just keep going. But again, like we have to, kinks are going to get worked out. And every single season we do the same song and dance. Defense, we did the same song and dance last year, where the defense played poorly in the second half of the game against the Ravens, and they got their shit handed to them like they did. And they won that football game because of a toe. They would have lost because they would have gone for 2 and won the football game. So we are in the same situation that the Chiefs were in last year. The only difference here is that going into week 2, they don't get the Bengals' lovely defense at all. And they got lucky in that game too. They get the defending Super Bowl champions, whose defense didn't look great, but not that it matters that much.
You're absolutely right. We have a bunch of questions, folks, and we are going to answer questions tonight. We're going to give you our takeaways first. And for those of you that are members, you'll get my notes most likely tomorrow, definitely before the end of the weekend. And those are as I write them during the game. And everybody asks why we don't live stream games. It's because we are both studying what's going on. That's why we can give you takeaways here. This is what Dan produces. He's old school. Here's something cool. I type stuff out, and you're old school and write. That's awesome.
I prefer to write. I don't like to have it screwed up next to me. So we are also changing this a little bit this year. I have a red pen now, so we have lots of red, as you can see in this game. It's a lot of fun.
Red's bad, folks. Red is bad. I just want to run through the stuff that really stood out to me. And Hollywood started rough. The drops were. Honestly, I know he's rusty and I knew he'd been gone. This is why I wanted him to play in preseason game number 3.
Agreed.
Got to get some of that out. Now, losing X is a big thing. And I think you can tell just how big a part Xavier was of this game plan by the fact that the first real run that you try is to him, which was a terrible design. Xavier is fast. He is not Tyreek Hill. He doesn't cut on a dime. Having him run long counter action into the backfield and try to get back outside is a dumb play. That one should have been thrown in the trash bin a long time ago. I'm surprised it made it to the regular season, honestly, because they've been running it in camp, I guarantee you, and it should have been found out. I don't excuse that. That's fine. It didn't look good. They were rusty. Running into each other is a whole nother thing. And I know that Derwin James pushed Travis Kelce. They shouldn't have been close enough for that to matter. You run those routes when you cross specifically far enough so the defender can't do that. This was just sloppy play in the first half.
Yeah, they also try rubbing them too. It felt like they wanted them to be close enough to hit, but also Derwin James recognized that, hey, you guys are pretty close. I'm just going to push Travis into him. If you're doing that in a regular game, it's hard to get off the floor. It's hard to get off the mat. So hopefully we'll hear back. I don't think it's good. I personally don't think it's going to be very good. So
I will guarantee you it's at least 2 games. I'll guarantee you that.
Probably. I'm looking at a month without Xavier Worthy, guys, personally. So
that's my thought as well. And I will tell you this. You can tell that from the exam on the sideline. And I can't tell you what the prognosis is, but I will tell you this. The fact that Andy came out and announced, we don't have an announcement, we're going to go do an MRI, means that nothing's broken, because they would have been able to tell you like that.
Yeah.
If it were a clavicle like Hollywood had last year, they'd know that by now. It would be done. Now, maybe the x-ray machine's down because you're out of the country. I don't know. But my guess is they had enough medical information to not tell you a bone's broken. So that leaves 2 major things, either an AC joint sprain or separated shoulder, which can be both of those can be very variable recoveries. So it's going to be a couple of weeks at least, is my guess.
Yeah, you're right about that. And for me, I mean, when we go to like the process here, the one thing that I'm going to go back to, guys, is Chamari Connor. We've talked about it all off season. And this is not, it's not necessarily Chamari's fault, okay? I'm going to put it out there. This is Steve Spagnuolo's fault. It is. I love Steve Spagnuolo. I want him to coach in Kansas City as long as he's possibly willing to do it. But I tweeted it out earlier today. He falls in love with players. He loves Chamari Connor. He loves Nick Bolton. He loves George Karlaftis. He loves the type of players that breed energy. The problem is, if you can identify that problem and consistently put him in space against a Ladd McConkey, the bones of Keenan Allen, and get one-on-one situations, he can't cover them. He can't. I
mean, let's be real. Quentin Johnson only catches balls when he's absolutely undisturbed, and look what he did tonight. That is a problem. So
and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Jalen Watson looked awful. Fulton had ups and downs. He was not all the way back. So it's going to take time for the secondary specifically, because it feels like this is what Spags does, right? We always talk about the rookies and how it takes time for them to get into the defense. I personally would just throw Noah Williams out there because he's better than what you're getting out of Jalen Watson right now. He just is, period.
I agree. And he was forced on special teams tonight. He showed it.
Yeah, he was. He made it one of the only good plays on special teams tonight. And the safety room, hey guys, it's trouble. Jaden Hicks did not have a great game.
No, but I'm glad you bring him up, because I have a problem with everybody trying to burn him to the ground.
Oh, I'm not here to burn him to the ground at all. This is a lot being placed upon Jaden Hicks. And when everyone around you is bad at their jobs, everything falls on you responsibility-wise too.
And let's be real. He's not playing. He did not play tonight the same role they asked him to play last season, where he was excellent.
Correct.
They asked him to be Justin Reed, and he is not yet. Justin Reed even came out and defended him, and I retweeted that. You can find that on my X account. Here's the thing. He is a space safety. He comes downhill well. He plays zones better in the middle than he did last year. But he is not a man cover, especially against a 13-year veteran or 78-year veteran, whatever Keenan Allen is. Asking him to run switches and be able to adapt and not get beat over the top is not something he's prepared to do yet. Mm-hmm. That's what Justin Reed was good at. He just doesn't have that experience. But again, this was him being forced into a position that he shouldn't be doing right now. I thought Connor might have been a better option there, because I think quickness in particular is what gets Connor broken. Allen may be crafty, but he's not quick. That's for damn sure. And I think, honestly, it was a tactical miscalculation for Spags not to put McDuffie on Ladd McConkey all damn night, period. That was a miscalculation.
I didn't see Sarah W out there once either, by the way. Not once.
Oh,
They were getting
snaps.
cooked.
Hold on.
They were getting cooked all night in man and zone. It didn't matter. And this was not just man coverage, by the way. They did a lot of the same thing over and over again. The deep overs with
it was the zones that were getting crushed.
Yeah, the zones were because they got everyone underneath was being pulled in from the play action pass that they never ran, which is again why having a run game or even a coach that will run the football. Yeah, he didn't play any snaps. I know.
0.
When you have a coach that will run the football, that wants to establish the run, comes out and starts throwing play action passes down, you guess what happens to your linebackers when they feel like they have to overcompensate for a defensive tackle situation? That's really, really bad. This is Greg Roman's bag tonight, guys. It was fantastic. Justin Herbert was great. They did a fantastic job of exploiting exactly what is wrong with the Chiefs defense. Okay. So we have to give them their flowers too. This isn't just a Chiefs are awful at everything. This is being exploited. So now it's about how do you fix what you can right now. I know I've seen it. I've seen it a lot about what free agents would I be bringing in. There's only one person on the docket for me, and that is Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers better be in Kansas City tomorrow because he's going to immediately make your safety room better. He can handle the switches. He can do everything you need him to from a coverage standpoint. Is he an elite player? No, but he's a very, very versatile player and can help your safety room. But even then, we're talking about deficiencies at the defense tackle that are creeping into the linebacker room that are not creeping into the secondaries because you have to have so much space covered from play action passes. And guess who's coming to town? The team that's going to run the ball down your throat or not.
Yeah. Jerry Tillery had as many pressures as Ashton Gelati tonight. He pass rushed 18 times to Gelati's 4. That tells you he was on the field for 30 snaps. That was way more than I thought. I missed a good portion of those. Marlon Tuipulotu, they brought him up so they could stop the run. He played 3 snaps. Nothing in there. I thought Leo was solid. I thought Trank was up and down. I thought Bolton got exposed in ways that we expect, and he was pretty good in ways that we expect. So I got the game from Bolton that I probably knew I would get. That didn't surprise me. What surprised me was a total lack of anything from Charles Omenihu or Mike Dan. And I'm baffled by that. They generally will play better and give you something to base it off of, and I just don't have that. Do you have thoughts?
I don't know why they brought Charles Omenihu back. We've talked about this before. The injury to FAU. This was hey, you have a guy who's entering basically a contract year. Get him more snaps. They said no. They effectively, again, I'm trying to contain myself because this is not an overreaction time for me. It's 1 week. It's not a big deal right now. Okay. However, when you ask guys like FAU and Omar Norman Lott to do things that they are not physically built to do, this is what can be a consequence. So Charles Omenihu is toast. Guys, he's toast. He can't help you. I'm sorry. He's not going to help this team. If he does, clip it. I'll eat my words. I don't care. Because right now,
it's worth it.
All I have seen is bad play from Charles Omenihu.
That's fair. We are going to take your questions. Thank you guys for the super chats.
Sorry,
all those are going to get an answer. Dan's going to rant for the members. If you want to see all that stuff, as well as my takeaways too, make sure you join the memberships, rookie level or above. And then we have some special things coming up for the starters and above that are coming up. Juwan Taylor got to figure this out eventually, right? Jaden Hicks not ready for or yet or something else. I think you're right on the second one, Nick. Just not yet, and asked to do more than he probably should have been. Taylor, I don't know that he's ever going to figure it out. He should have when he got multiple penalties in single games last year, and he came down on him. There was all kinds of discussion. Yet we're right back here. It is not a physical issue. It is not anything to do with the cadence. It is that he does not feel confident in waiting for the damn snap. So he feels he needs to jump out of his stance early. That is a mental thing. There is nothing that is going to fix Juwan Taylor. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm sorry. Like, this is, I don't get it, guys. This is year 7 for a player, and the Chiefs are expecting him to not continue to do the same stuff. They believe in players too much. They give the leash too much line. This is a problem. At some point, you got to bench him. It not just for a drive. He needs to be benched for a game. And yes, more
That's the
gameplay.
question.
Right tackle. Do we get it this week? Probably not.
I don't think so either. But it's out there. It's out there to be had. Knicks man, yeah, absolutely with you. And not just on Taylor.
No.
He's not the only guy got called for bad plays. Simmons had one that I honestly didn't think he even needed to tell you the truth. I thought it was an unnecessary penalty. Minotaur, thank you. All I'm going to say is that I can't wait for Dan's rant. Yes, it'll be a great one. At least it's going to be good. That game was not. You're absolutely right. And thank you, Minotaur, for your support. And thank you for gifting memberships to more members. We appreciate you. Always spreading the word. You are the man for us. And thank you. Keep it up. JJ, more concerning, pass rush or the secondary play? If you had to pick one, what was the worst?
Pass rush. You can coach up. You can coach up the guys in the secondary because most of them have experience. You still have some talent that you have not gotten out there all the time yet. You can't fix the pass rush. You can't. And this is what happens. I'm trying to not say the words. Okay.
The rants for Monday. It's
not so much. It's not even just that. It's just that we were right about this. How can we see this, but they can't see it? How can we see this, but they can't see it? I don't understand in my bones how this is difficult from a purely personnel situation. It's not hard. It's not. But we see it every single week. The pass rush can't get there. The pass rush can't get there. 4 isn't getting it done. It's not going to work.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. Maybe when you're too close to it, you can't see it clearly enough because we certainly can. And we've been talking about it for most of the offseason. When you ignore clear discrepancies, this is what happens. Now, will they round into shape? Will they get something out of the guys that they project to develop? Yes. Is it going to fix it? No. Defense needs to be addressed ASAP. Can't get to the QB. And that is part of the problem, right? Yeah. And especially when you're talking about having 2 backups in. Now, Joe Alt is not a backup. So we're not counting him. I'm counting Pipkins as a backup, and I'm counting whoever came in for Becton as a backup. Was it Sawyer? I can't remember. But somebody came in. And yet you still couldn't generate pass rush to the point where at least twice I saw them move Chris Jones over to the other side against the right tackle or right guard because nobody else was getting any pressure. This is, I will say this, other than maybe you're right about Charles, I'm not quite as convinced as you because I feel like he's playing the veteran game and holding back. For me, this was an effort problem across the whole front. Like you don't have anything in reserve. And I'd be less concerned about this game if it wasn't a division game.
Yeah.
But they got you where they wanted you. You just lost one of your home games. And traveling.
It was an away game.
No, I just mean like, I mean being comfortable because I think they're as comfortable SoFi as they are.
For sure.
Myself. But they got you in a situation where they had the advantage and you weren't able to rise to the occasion. And if you didn't recognize that, that's a problem with Andy and the staff. If you did recognize you weren't able to lift your game, that's a problem with the players. And I don't know which it is, but we're going to figure that out because we are going to hear about it this week. I guarantee you. Lee, thank you. Love that all you guys do. Cheers. Thank you. This will be a rough one to cover, but your insights are always awesome. Thank you. Just wanted you and Dad to know this. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for that. At least we have real football. Yes, and that is the truth. We have actual football to cover. I love that. I know Andy calls the plays, but we can't ignore the lack of offense since Nagy became OC. I'm glad to get the L now. Maybe wake them up and be the last unbeaten teams who won't have the Super Bowl in decades. That's fair. And I do like your prognostication there. I will say this, and I'm not here to defend Nagy, but I will say it's also about the time that you lost all your power at wide receiver too, right? So they kind of go hand in hand.
I get where everyone's coming from with this, but the last 3 years, injuries. Remember, when Rashee Rice was a rookie, they had to make him the number 1 receiver because they didn't have a choice. Last year, Rashee Rice goes down. Hollywood Brown goes down. They have to every year that Matt Nagy has been the OC, they've had to reinvent what they practiced all offseason. So the execution stuff is far more what the hell? Why can't you execute this?
Yeah.
It's when you have to change things on the fly where I'm willing to be a little bit more absolvent of it, because you have to change your game plan. And when you have one, like Ryan was talking about how Xavier was going to be such a big focus of the offense, you didn't practice, you didn't install him going down. Like you don't install those things. So I understand, and let's not forget that Tyquan Thornton got loose like 5 times in this football game. They just didn't connect on all of them. So that's something to kind of focus on too. There's more here than just, okay, Xavier went down, everything changed. They still were able to open up the deep passes. They were there. They were there to be had. And it wasn't necessarily because they didn't have the time, by the way, because they absolutely did have the time.
Yeah.
And Patrick missed a couple of them, or he hit somebody else instead.
But as I said on X at the time, it came together. They made the big play. Yes, they need to make more of those, but it's coming together. The deep ball is back. They had a couple of nice chunks, and I think that is a positive sign for where we're going. In fact, like I would probably bet that there's going to be more of that. And if you want to, our friends at Profit X are going to help you. Profit X, America's #1 sports prediction market, is a peer-to-peer sports prediction market where users play against each other instead of a sports book versus the house. You will almost always get the best price on any spread, money line, total, or player prop, since you're playing against other people rather than the book. Profit X offers sweepstakes-based dual currency system, either profit points or profit cash, and operates across 40 states. Use the promo code RGR and claim up to $200 in profit cash on all plays for the first 30 days playing on the site. ProfitX gives you the best lines in the space, and you can even set your own odds on specific wagers on your players, all at ProfitX. Go there and use the code RGR. Terms and conditions apply. They do. Drew Tranquil making a statement, I guess, about him and Chris Jones getting into it a little bit. Emotions flare. Clearly, the defense was an issue tonight. I have a couple of other notes here. We've covered most of it, but I do want to point out, you don't see that from this team very often, where they're arguing with each other. They clearly were not prepared for this, and I don't know if that's on Andy or not. But that's my guess, is this was treated as take it easy. It's a tough trip. Do the best to take care of yourself. And the intensity wasn't there. And guys were embarrassed. And that's what I felt I saw out there. I don't know how you took it.
This is what happens when you allow a 7-1 in-division record to cloud preparation. You believe that it'll be a close game, but we'll come out on top. The fire for this team to win in September is so low that it creeps in everywhere. Every single game that they play for the first 2 months of the season, it's like, we'll find a way. You can't do that. It's the same reason that Patrick does what he does. Oh, Patrick will save us. Like, oh, I don't have to catch this football. I don't have to be. I don't have to get, off the ball right here. I can hold this guy. Like, it feels like the mentality for this team sometimes is weak. It feels like that. And when you don't have the energy or the will to want to play in September, and you only want to play in December, in order for you to get there, you got to start playing now. Like, those things happen now. And I understand that they've been able to kind of ease their way in most of the time, but everyone gets better. I still think that this team is the best team in the AFC. The problem is the execution to get there is lacking. If you don't execute, you don't get to where you can actually go.
Yeah. And to FLDB's point, if you don't execute, you're not going to score 30 a game. And it does seem like right now they're going to have to for the foreseeable future. Tough to do without Xavier and without Rasheed. We're going to have to see what happens with that. But should get Royals back. Felt like them leaving him at home was a step towards we need to get him involved here.
Sure.
That's only going to get stepped up now depending on what happens with Xavier. I would love to be wrong, and he's going to be fine. I would love to hear that. But MRI tells me they're looking at soft tissue, and I just don't feel terribly comfortable with it. And by the way, FLDB, 51 months in the membership.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Why does the loss hurt more than after the Super Bowl? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's fresher, because it doesn't hurt worse than the Super Bowl for me. This is just
No.
The Super Bowl still sticks with me. Rosifus, thank you, pal. Appreciate you. Pass rush infuriating. If Jones isn't going to get pressure at DE, he needs to collapse the pocket as an elite D tackle. And I agree with that. Let him be where he is if it's not going to work. Putting him out, especially on all, maybe their best lineman, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Attack the weakness. I also felt like Spags got a little bit too cover zero happy. Like with a secondary that has some significant changes, including losing their leader in Reed. I thought that was a little too early to go to the C0 stuff.
I mean, he did a couple of times earlier. I thought that he executed well, but when you start to do it because you can't rush the passer, that's when it gets overly, oversaturated. And Justin Herbert's like, "Hey guys, no worries here." Like it was easy for him to figure it out later. He didn't see it multiple times, and he got beat multiple times with it. But once you put it on tape, he goes back to the sideline. He starts looking at where it's coming from, and that's how you make the adjustments. So he just went to it too often. Yeah, for sure.
Thank you, Bruce Evis. Appreciate you. Thank you, DJ. Sorry. First year looked good. I think he still has room to come along. And like I said, his first step was explosive at times tonight. Just need to see that a whole lot more. Jacob, thank you again. Appreciate you. Any free agent you'd like to see in trades or players? Man, Christian Wilkins is still intriguing to me for pass rush up the middle. The fact that they left Omar inactive tonight, I think, is more about his injury than about his possible performance. But also, high ankle sprains are tough to get over for 300-pounders. So
yeah,
let's not push that. I would look at Wilkins pretty hard myself. As far as trades, I don't know who would be available. I don't think you have to panic at wide receiver. I thought I saw enough out of Juju and Thornton to make up for it.
Sure.
If you get Royals, we're okay there, right? But an edge would be somebody I'd trade for myself.
You have to find a way to. I mean, look what the Eagles did right after they couldn't rush the passer last night. They went and signed Zadarius Smith. Like, it was immediate. There's nobody out there that's really going to help you at this point, probably, but you got to start getting something going to try to at least find something, because you don't have any juice. And unfortunately, even in the event that maybe Brett Veach signs somebody or trades for somebody, if Steve Spagnuolo doesn't want to play him, he won't play him. We saw that with Josh Uche, who, by the way, I'm not doing this just to rag, but Uche had 15 snaps and he had 5 pressures against the Cowboys. He's a purely pass rush player, but when you use him to what he's actually supposed to do, he can be fine for you. And guess what? They didn't want to do that. It's a stylistic thing. It's a problem, in my opinion, but I'm not doing that right now.
Yeah, and we'll never be able to change it. That's between Veach and Spags.
Nope.
Thank you, Jacob. Appreciate you. If something comes up, we'll answer it, and we'll do the Monday Q&A like always. Maybe I'll have an idea by then. Hey, Ryan and Dad. Nice to see you, Tyler. Back in tonight. Any positives to take away from this game? And also, did not know you were concerned about the field. How are you feeling about it right now? Positives for me was the Thornton thing working out. I think that's something you can grow. Positive thing for me is they ran the ball for 5 yards a carry with Pops and 3.2 with Hunt. And that's as good as they got from Hampton on the other side. That's something you can build on. Running 10 times a game. Stop me if you've heard this before, since 2018 when I started this channel. Run the damn ball, Andy. Run the damn ball. Okay? That's all I'm going to say.
I mean, I think the positives, at least in my opinion, is that they eventually were able to get the ball rolling on the offense. The offensive line wasn't as bad as I think that people thought. Patrick was leaving pockets too early, in my opinion, multiple times, which I understand, because he was getting free and getting into space because he was trying to use his legs and, again, energize the offense. I don't have any problem with that. Sometimes he was leaving a little bit too early, but there were plays to be made on offense. The only real thing on defense that I was happy with were some of those well-timed blitzes. Everything else was just taken advantage of by the Chargers. And they did a great job doing it.
Yeah. For this next one, sorry, I was looking ahead a little bit. Thank you, Jacob.
And by the way, yes, I'm feeling okay about the field. It looked fine.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. It looks like they did a good job. The NFL spent some money, by the way. They pitched in to take care of that, and I believe, from what I heard, there were groundskeepers from some affiliated company that went down there to help. So
yeah.
Okay. I'll take it. Did Christian Fulton play? He did. 15 snaps is all he had.
Yeah.
And I too felt he was very up and down. PFF has a great grade on him for coverage, but I know at least 2 zones he locked on too far and should have carried through at least one of those big catches that went outside behind him. Just some miscommunication scheme things. He hasn't been playing that much. It'll come together, but it wasn't clean. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Angler, thank you. I think we talked a lot about the defensive line. Your opinion on Noel, and thank you, Black and Gold.
He didn't play. He didn't get to play. He was good on special teams. Noel is probably their second most talented corner in the room. And that's a heavy burden to weigh as a rookie in a new defense, a very tough defense to learn, which has been talked about extensively, but he's not going to play nickel for you.
No.
That's not his role. He is an outside corner that would be best if they want to put Trent McDuffie in the nickel on obvious passing situations and get him to the outside, but they didn't do it.
No, and I'm still baffled. Luckily, Joshua Williams didn't play either. So, hey, there was that. We'll see what happened with Noel. I was disappointed in Jalen's performance. I'm giving Fulton a little bit more of a pass because of the lack of preseason, but he's got to step his stuff up like right now. He knows that team pretty well, and I think he got beat up. Right. I thought it was their advantage instead of it being his advantage, which is what I expected. I thought that was a problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
Thank you, Black and Gold. Appreciate the support. Brandon, thank you. Just got here. So that not holding in the last touchdown to Quentin, yeah. Also why I was Normalot not playing. Normalot's got a high ankle. I think they were just trying to protect him. They put Marlon up to stop the run more, which is not Omar's thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I believe that was Hampton that was the running back. But yeah, I think it was Connor on the outside blitz and literally got dragged from behind, yet wasn't throwing that flag. What did you see?
Yeah, I don't care. Personally, I don't care. Like if you're asking for a penalty in that moment, you're doing the same thing that the fans have been doing against the Chiefs forever, wishing for a penalty to save you when you don't deserve it. So like I don't care. It's not about this. Again, it's the same thing that I say about missed extra points.
Hey, Dan.
What's up?
My brother happens to be visiting, so hey, everybody.
I see that. But yeah, I mean, if you're asking for a penalty in that moment,
you've already lost.
You don't deserve it.
There were plenty of them all night long on both sides. It was just infuriating. So, HL, how excited were you guys for 4 months of saying the exact same thing every week about Shamari Connor? Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be justified, but it's still not that great when it's about being.
It's more frustrating. It's because we know we were right, and it's just like, well, okay,
yeah,
here we are.
So Green turns it around on its head, though. So thank you for the support and the super chat. We appreciate you. What does Chamari do well? Chamari comes downhill well. Chamari plays in space well. Not deep, but remember that area of the field below the high safety, which they did go to some single high tonight, and above the linebackers. It's called a robber. Honey Badger made it work excellently for Spags. That's what Connor should be doing. Trying to make him man up on even tight ends is problematic at this point, and certainly on slot corners, slot receivers is infuriating.
He's a good force defender in the run. Like he'll come down, he'll lay hits. Like and I've explained this. Like that's why Spags wants him out there in nickel defense, because if a team does run the football, he'll come in and hit you. But the problem is the Chargers were like, hey, that's motion. Let's get him singled up on somebody, and we're just going to throw the football. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's pretty iffy. What's missing from the offense? A legit run game. I think the run game is there. If you grow it, if you feed it, it'll grow. Is what I'm seeing. I thought they ran better as a whole. I got to go back and look at it, but I didn't see anything glaring. It just wasn't enough balance, and I think we kind of expected them to get off to a slow start, but yet it felt to me like they felt more pressure and more panic than they were expecting. And maybe it was the X loss. I don't know.
A lot of things. It's going 3 and out, then combined with the X loss, and then having to play from behind, which it feels like when they do get behind, one, they're more comfortable that way, but also it just allows them to lean into throwing the football. Like it's a situation where Andy Reid like realized halfway through the third quarter, like, oh, we should run the football here a little bit. No, that it's too late then, my guy. Like they don't care, and you're not good at it anyway. And it's funny because during the broadcast they were talking about something that Spags had mentioned about. Well, in practice they don't really run the football, so we don't get to practice against it.
Right.
And that should be a big, like, huge. Are you kidding me right now? This is a serious problem that they don't practice running the football. And it shows not just in their offense, but on their defense too. So they have to overcorrect to be able to stop the run. And that's why you see giant holes in zone, because Spags literally doesn't get to practice against it. That is the bigger issue here, in my opinion.
I agree with you. That's why you have backups and you have a scout team. That is your job. If you were not practicing run defense this week with Najee and Hampton in that backfield, you did it wrong. Did they go away from it? Sure, but I think that's because they were more suspect about the secondary than they were about the run defense. I think honestly they dodged a bullet there. Yep. Tad, thank you for your support, pal. How do we just have $2 million in cap? I thought it was 20. Simmons, Clowney needs someone. Pass rush was just as bad as last year. Thoughts? Yeah, I thought it was at 17. I don't know what happened. Did they make a signing that I don't know about? Dan's typing furiously, so I assume you're looking.
No, I'm not looking. I'm being mad.
Oh, okay. Be mad. Okay, rock and roll. I will look. It's funny when that happens. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The latest update I have has them at 2.3. I'm not sure where that went. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure that out for you, Tad. There are still a couple of moves they could make to free up some money. I just don't know if they're willing to pull those triggers. I honestly don't know. Maybe something's hit that I'm unaware of, because I didn't think that they did anything to get down that low. I'll definitely dig into it, and we'll have an answer for you here hopefully on Monday, Tad. Thanks for asking the question. And yes, pass rush did not look like it was ready. Hopefully they can fix that, and it is a preparation and effort thing that can be corrected. What happens without Xavier? Is there a fix for our defense? The fix is going to have to come along. Without Xavier, you're going to see Tyquan play more. You're going to see Royals back this week. I am nearly certain. They have a little bit extra time now, a couple of extra days before their next game, so that's a plus. I also think that they are going to start planning to use more 13. Tanyan played 5 snaps tonight, I think is what it was. I can double check that. They clearly didn't have 3 tight end formations in the game plan tonight, so it didn't really happen. And sometimes Andy gets stuck like that, and you'll hear me talk about this all year long. The game plans are too narrow. When you lose a player and your game plan goes to shit, that's a problem. You're not preparing enough. And I think Andy gets down on a hole. He gets into series play calls. And I think that is problematic at times, because I would have liked to see Tanyan on the field more. I would have liked to see you shift gears on them completely and go to a more physical kind of attack, both in the run game and in that. But this is all in the quest to do this. And whatever gets it done. Mahomes, I thought, looked like Mahomes. But to make him absolutely great again, you have to have the support. You have to have the flexibility to give him what he needs in a certain ballgame.
You know how the Chiefs like to run 13 personnel? Well, they only ran it 5 times in the first half, and they never ran the football out of it. Every team knows that when they bring 13 personnel, they're going to throw the football. It's no longer effective. Again, this goes back to the simple basic point. If you do not have a running game that any defense respects, one, you're never going to be able to use what you want to do. You can't use play action properly. And the times that they actually did use play action, Patrick had time. Yeah. He was just sitting back there. He was fine. I'm not properly prepared to deal with this for 16, 17 games, guys. However, I think it's going to get better. Again, we have to remember this is just the first game. When you shit the bed, I think it's best to do that in the first week of the season, because that is the time that everyone probably does if they're going to, and you have to work through it. You have to be able to get better. So we need to wait. We have to be more patient with the team coming off of the changes that they've had and some of the things that they're going through with the decisions that they made. So I always believe that Andy and Spags will figure it out. The fix to the defense for me is just allowing your players to do what they do well and not forcing them into positions where they're not best. And usually Spags does a very good job of that. However, he's a little blind with a couple of his players.
Agreed. Patrick made 39 attempts tonight. He was under pressure on 12 of them. It's not the greatest number, but it's better than last season.
Yeah.
So I agree. Like, it's got to improve, but especially I thought the play action was very good. He ended up 70% completion rate when he was kept clean. It dipped maybe more dramatically than normal for him tonight. And when he was blitzed, he had a 50-50. So not bad at all. He did have 8 scrambles, though, so his legs did keep him in it, but they are going to have to work on that. And Dre, thank you. 39-10, not getting the defense off balance at all. You're absolutely right. It doesn't scare them. And you have physical players. Both Kingsley and Simmons have added physicality to this offensive line, not taken away from it. Use it is what I'm saying. Rasgers, Trenkle made good plays, but I think he's in decline a little bit. He looked decent, but again, not quite what 2 years ago was. And I think putting that weight on last year was a mistake. And I think we're still seeing some of that. Last call for questions here, folks. Last super chat for us. Do we have the second, or do we need a trade? I think an acquisition could be out there, but I think they're going to ride with it. I think Spags and Merritt want to bring these guys along. And you just got to get, I think, better corner play. To your point, without CRW getting any snaps, I think that they were just caught off guard and they froze a bit.
I mean, at this point, guys, it's only gonna happen, right? You freeze in moments like this. That doesn't make any sense to me. However, no, I don't think they're gonna make a trade right now. This is not. They run this differently. They let the coaches coach their players, and if there's anything that we've learned from the Chiefs over the past, I don't know, 7-8 years now, is that they usually figure it out. They don't let one game define the season, as you shouldn't either as fans. Is it fun to watch? Yeah. No, it's not fun to watch. But we always do this. There's a couple of games this season where it's like, what's going on? Like, why does this happen? We're allowed to be frustrated. Like that's part of the process right here. It's part of it. We'll watch the film. It's not going to be fun. We'll do a pass rush. I'll do a pass rush breakdown for Wednesday, and we'll talk about what needs to change with the players, maybe why some things happen this way versus that. But overall, there are some good things. Like, there are some good things. The deep passes are going to be back. They are here. Like, that's the one thing that we talked about needing back in the offense, is that now we can adjust a little bit to, you can run just a little bit more. You can run just a little bit more. If you want to throw the football down, okay, go for it. Go for it. Now run it a little bit more.
You just backed them off. Use it, for the love of God.
So just let's try and calm just a little bit. 0-1 sucks. And yes, they're staring 0-2 in the face if they don't get their heads out of their you-know-whats. However, wake-up calls happen. I think that being home against the Eagles might help them out a little bit.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there. And it sucks to lose to a division game in week 1. But week 2 is coming, and you're going to get through that. We told you when the schedule came out, first 6 weeks are going to be tough. Now with the Rashee Rice, they're even tougher. If they can make it 500, they're going to be just fine. I still have them winning 13 games this season. So I'll revise that when I have to. Right now, as frustrating as this game was, I don't feel that it's necessary. So final takeaways from you, Dan?
Final takeaway, guys. Look, everything has a cost. Going to 3 straight Super Bowls does not happen to most any football teams. They made some choices that I wouldn't have personally made, but at the end of the day, this football team knows what it takes to win. And I think maybe they'll take the Chargers a little bit more seriously now. They probably should. They probably should. Like, let's be honest. This was a much better football team than they played last year overall. Greg Roman got in his bag. Again, they did not back down when it came to situations where Jim Harbaugh would usually just run the football. They threw the football. That's showing you the mentality change itself. So not only do you have to be able to be responsible for that, you have to respond as well. And in kind, you have to be able to come up to those and figure it out. So when this team is challenged, typically we see the best of them. So let's wait it out. Let's see what we got next week. But overall, don't overreact too much. There are still some things to work on, still some young areas that will get figured out, but let's relax just a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. My two takeaways would be you have to game plan more dramatically for plan B and plan C. And you cannot hyper funnel everything to a single player or a couple of concepts. You have to be more multiple on offense, Andy. And you bring up a very good point. I'm going to change my second one is maybe the player or play of the game goes to Jim Harbaugh for breaking his own tendencies, because we all knew what was coming and we were wrong, because he said, everybody knows what I'm going to do. Let's switch it up. And kudos. I thought Herbert played a good game. You also ran up against a very good performance from a very good quarterback that people like to underestimate nationally. I think we all know better, but that's part of the scenario as well. So don't take it too hard. The sun's coming up tomorrow and there's football on Sunday. Go scout out everybody else. I hope that you guys have a great night. And Dan, I hope you enjoy your weekend.
Thanks, man. Everyone, just try to relax. I know we got just try to take some time. We'll get a rant out to you guys next week. I'm probably try to record it tomorrow. That way we can all have a little bit of fun in the member section. And then we'll come back, we'll watch the film, and we'll see what it's all about. Football is still here to be played, guys. There's a lot left, a lot of games left.
Woosah. It's going to be all right. Thank you. Have a great night. Talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.